from the broadcast studio, hitting in the static. This ain't no bedtime story, son, it's prophetic. Encrypted signals from the shadows of the garden. We dig where the dirt got secrets, no parting. Microphone alchemist, scriptures with a twist. Peep the frequency, seeds in the mist. We drop bars like plagues, revelations in the cadence. Broadcasting truth while they trapped in surveillance. Wisdom with a watchman's blade. Fourth watch style while your whole system fade. Blood moons, Nephilim, echoes in the pine. Sasquatch stomping through the fault lines of time. We ain't mainstream, we ancient stream. Cypher with the prophets, decode the dream. So if you tuned in, better guard your mind. It's broadcasting seeds and we breaking the design.
You ever notice how the sky feels louder than it used to? More satellites, more lights that are not stars, more headlines whispering about unidentified somethings. Tonight we want to poke the bruise that everybody online keeps pressing. Project Bluebeam. The elevator pitch is simple and unsettling. A global script gets rolled out, the sky becomes a stage, holograms paint miracles or motherships across the clouds. The world freaks out, begs for order, and a small group steps forward to provide it. If that sounds like a cold open to a dystopian series, you're not wrong. But the story did not start on Netflix. It started on a photocopied page. Now, I'm not here to baptize every claim or to roll my eyes at all of them either. Broadcasting Seeds has always been about curiosity with a backbone. We take strange ideas, hold them up to the light, and ask what they mean for real people trying to live real lives. Because even if some parts of Project Bluebeam are smoke, the smoke still tells you a fire is nearby. Tech is accelerating. Trust in institutions is frankly super thin. Attention is the new oil. If you wanted to steer a planet, you would not need a Death Star. You would need screens, you would need narrative, and a really good sound system. So here's how we're going to travel tonight. In section 1, we will map the myth and the machinery. Where did this theory come from? What are the phases? And what real tech exists that people point to as proof or possibility? Section 2, we will scan the modern sky. You got drones, you got satellites, constellations, deepfake audio, deepfake video, crowd psychology, and why online rumor can move faster than radar. And in section 3, we get practical. If even a fraction of this scenario ever got attempted, how do you and your community stay grounded? How do you stay wise and unshakable? So if you're into conversations that refuse to be naive or nihilistic, you are in the right place. Do me a favor, though. Like the show, share it with a friend who loves a good rabbit hole, and leave a review. This is how this thing grows and how we keep making more episodes that actually respect your time. So, Section 1, the myth and the machinery. Let's start at the roots. Before memes, before YouTube documentaries with ominous bass drops, Serge Monast was a journalist out of Quebec who in the early 1990s began releasing papers claiming that NASA and the United Nations were conspiring to stage a fake second coming using second coming of Christ. That's what we're talking about. Using advanced holographic projection technology. He said it would unfold in 4 different acts. First, a manufactured archaeological discovery to challenge existing religions. Second, a breathtaking celestial light show featuring messianic figures customized for each faith. Third, a telepathic broadcast to mimic divine communication. And fourth, a global catastrophe that would justify the creation of a single world government. Yeah. Sounds like the script of a late night sci-fi thriller. But remember, the 1990s were also the dawn of GPS. You had new stealth tech coming out during the Gulf War and early virtual reality experiments. The line between science and sorcery, it was getting pretty blurry. Now, Monash died in 1996, officially from a heart attack. But conspiracy circles often note how his death came right after publishing his final Blue Beam writings. That timing became its own mythology. Since then, the theory has evolved, morphing with every leap into technology. When LED billboards appeared, people said, see? When drones started performing synchronized light shows at the Olympics, they said, proof. And when companies like Google and Meta began mapping and simulating the planet in 3D space, that was phase 2. Now, to be fair, there are real technologies that could, in time, mimic portions of that monast, of what he described. Holographic projection is very real. Japan has showcased it in concerts. The U.S. Army has tested 3D audio and augmented reality training systems, and global satellite coverage can now beam images and sound nearly anywhere. But, and it's a big but, nothing close to projecting planet-wide religious apparitions exists. And I'm going to say yet. What does exist is the capability to craft mass perception. Psychological operations, call them psyops, have matured from sprinkling leaflets dropped over battlefields to AI-driven social media campaigns. In other words, maybe Project Bluebeam was never about blue light at all. Maybe it was about the invisible beam between your eyes and your screen. So, as we peel back the layers, keep one thought in mind. Even if the hardware isn't quite there, the software in our minds might already be installed. Section 2, Scanning the Modern Sky, How the Narrative Evolved in the Age of Drones and Deepfakes. I want you to fast forward now. The 90s paranoia has been upgraded to 5G speeds and algorithmic reach. Today, when someone mentions Project Bluebeam, they aren't picturing dusty photocopies. They're picturing UFO hearings in Congress, satellite swarms blotting out the stars, and sky events that feel more like marketing than miracles. Think about what we've seen just in the last few years. In 2021, videos of pyramid-shaped UFOs leaked from the Navy's own intelligence briefings. Lawmakers held hearings about unidentified aerial phenomenon, while Pentagon programs like AARO popped up to investigate. And just as people began accepting that, if you want to know what AARO is, go look it up. And just as people began accepting that something unidentified might really be out there, a wave of blue beam hashtags exploded online. The timing wasn't lost on anyone. People started asking, what if this isn't disclosure? What if it's stage prep? And honestly, it's not a crazy question. You've got synchronized drone light shows capable of forming perfect moving images across city skylines. Hundreds of points of light moving as one. You've got SpaceX launches streaking the atmosphere, looking like glowing serpents, twisting above suburbia. Then there's deepfake tech. Like, come on, faces, voices, even entire speeches crafted out of code. If you can make the president say anything, project an angel across the clouds and push it through every phone and feed simultaneously, you don't think alien ships to cause, you don't need alien ships to cause a global panic. You just need a good story and a high-speed internet connection. Now, add one more layer. Mass psychology. Since the pandemic, trust in authority, media, and government, it's just cratered. Fear and confusion have become the oxygen of modern life. People want to believe something bigger is happening because it makes the chaos feel orchestrated instead of random. So the theory thrives. Feed on that desire for a plot behind the madness. Whether it's drone swarms over Arizona, sky trumpets echoing through industrial cities, or satellites reflecting sunlight in perfect formation, the modern world has given the blue beam myth a cinematic upgrade. But maybe the most dangerous part isn't the fake invasion, it's the real manipulation that could ride on its coattails. Because if you can make the public question what's real in the sky, you can make them question what's real on the ground. Section 3, Impact and Implications. What if they actually can pull this off? Okay, let's play with the uncomfortable what if. What if one night the sky really does light up with something so massive, so coordinated, that it makes you forget how to breathe? A radiant Messiah figure hovering over Jerusalem. A fleet of luminous crafts descend over New York, Beijing, Rome, Moscow, pick a capital. A unified global message broadcast in every single language, calling humanity to come together. Would we even question it? Or would we drop to our knees, scroll for confirmation, and let the fear do the rest? That's the psychological nuke at the heart of Project Bluebeam. Not lasers, it's not satellites, but it comes down to trust. The theory suggests that when belief and technology merge, People stop asking questions. And if you can hijack the human instinct for awe, you don't need armies. You just need a signal strong enough to overwhelm the senses. And in 2025, that's not science fiction. That's just marketing turned weaponized. Augmented reality is mainstream. Deepfake influencers rake in millions of dollars. Political campaigns deploy AI voices. Entire wars are fought as much through screens as on battlefields. Imagine fusing all that power into a single orchestrated narrative, one that says, obey for the good of the planet. That's the chilling brilliance of the fake invasion agenda. It doesn't need to be true to be effective. It only needs to feel real long enough for people to surrender control. I mean, things like this have happened. 9/11, I can't even tell you. All right, so let's zoom out. Even if Bluebeam never launches, even if it's all smoke and rumor, it still serves as a kind of prophecy about where humanity is headed. We're entering an era where reality is negotiable, where your perception can be engineered in real damn time. So maybe the real question isn't whether Bluebeam is real, but whether we are capable of independent thought when it comes. So here's the takeaway. I need you to stay curious, stay grounded, fact check before you fear check. And remember that discernment isn't cynicism, it's defense. If you keep your soul anchored to truth, it won't matter what they project on the sky. You'll see through it. So here we are, staring up at the stars, wondering what we see, if what we see is even real anymore. Maybe that's the truest power of Project Bluebeam. Not that it'll ever happen exactly the way that the theory claims, but that it's forced us to question how much of our world we take at face value. The next time you see a viral clip of something glowing above a city, or a politician suddenly preaching global unity under a new light, take a breath. Ask yourself who benefits from your awe, your fear, or your faith. Because in an age where reality can be rendered, the most radical act is to still think for yourself. The old prophets warned us about false signs and wonders. The new prophets might just be coders. Either way, the antidote hasn't changed. Discernment, community, and courage. Frankly, that's what Broadcasting Seeds is all about. Planting questions that grow into conviction. So, if tonight's dive into Project Bluebeam, the fake invasion agenda, sparked something in you, curiosity, skepticism, or even a little holy anger, do me a favor, like the show, share it with someone who's awake enough to think, and leave a review wherever you listen. That's how this show grows, one conversation at a time. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies, but your heart anchored in truth. This is Bennett Tanton signing off. Stay sharp, stay free, and keep broadcasting those seeds.
You ever look up at that sky and think, maybe what you're seeing ain't what's really there? They say look to the heavens for a sign. But what if the sign's a signal?
There's a light in the sky, but it don't look right. Whole town froze like a judgment night. Screen glow blue, hearts beat tight. Fake Messiahs dropping bars in the satellite. Pastor on the corner said the trumpet sounding, but it's just drones in the clouds that pounding. Holograms preaching from a government mountain. Faith on a leash and the truth still drowning. Sky signs, but the Lord ain't in a static. Fake wings, but the fall still tragic. Whole world praying, but the feast cinematic. Truth in the dirt, yeah, they buried automatic. Sky signs, but the Lord ain't in a static. Fake wings, but the fall still tragic. Whole world praying, but the feast cinematic. Truth in the dirt, yeah, they buried automatic. Out in Georgia, they seen that flame. Said angels came down, calling folks by name. But it's the pixels, money, and fame. Blue beam dreams, new world game. Feed me fear in a viral thread. Keep the match scrolling till the soul goes dead. Preaching peace while they aim for your head. And the choir singing what the algorithm said. Ain't no cloud too high for a code injection. Ain't no halo saved from a state correction. When God goes digital, who's the connection? Man, question everything and pray for protection. Sky sign, but the Lord ain't in the static. Fake wings, but the fall still tragic. Whole world praying, but the feast cinematic. Truth in the dirt, yeah, they buried automatic. Sky sign, but the Lord ain't in the static. Fake wings, but the fall still tragic. Whole world praying, but the feast cinematic. Truth in the dirt, yeah, they buried automatic. Look up. Sure. Just don't forget to look within. They can fake the light, but they can't fake the spirit.